Well, welcome to another edition of the Digicel Sports Show right here on Islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Basden, and joining me yet again is Jason, the lucky one, juggler, Ford. I call you the lucky one because you're very lucky.
You're running out of time.
No need to panic, brother.
Okay, buddy.
One behind.
Oh,
It's just one?
it's two.
Yeah, is it two?
Yes, it's two.
Okay, two behind.
Yeah.
Two behind, two runs to play. But we're going to talk about some shocking results, some unbelievable results.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Bermuda Carifta track and field team was announced yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We got a chance last week to talk with the Minister and Shadow Minister of Sports about situations. We have the upcoming Carifta swimming team about to be announced as well. But we have a whole host of other things we want to get to. Mm-hmm. But first, let's get a message from our sponsor.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, yesterday at noon, the Carifta track and field team was announced. The president of the Bermuda National Athletic Association, Donna Rayner, announced the team, 14-member team. Unfortunately, one of the athletes had to back out. It was a conflict with school. And of course, as Donna said, education comes first.
Most definitely.
So let's actually get the interview and the announcement of the Bermuda track and field team for Carifta 2018.
The Bermuda National Athletics Association would like to introduce the 2018 Carifta Athletics team. We are very pleased with the team that has been selected and have no doubt they will represent us very well. We have a quality team with athletes who have committed themselves to this sport and have given their best to gain a place on the team. So I will now introduce to you Bermuda's 2018 Carifta team. Starting with the under-17 girls, we have Jessie Marshall, who will be competing in the 1,500 meters. We have Taylor Hines, who will be competing in the 200 meters. We have Tilly Norman, who will be competing in the 1,500 and the 3,000 meters. We have Amelia Othman, who will be competing in the high jump. So that's our under-17 females team. In the under-20 girls, we have Sakari Famous, who will be competing in the high jump, and Sakari will be our team captain. We have Ashley Irby, who will be competing in the 1,500 meters. And we have Isabel Dutranois, who will be competing in the 3,000 meters. So that is our under-20 girls team. Moving on to the boys, we have the under-17 boys. Clavante Lodge will be competing in the 200 and 400 meters. We have Ryan Otterbridge, who will be competing in the 15 and 3,000 meters. And we have Nairobi Mills, who will be competing in the 800 meters. So that's our under-17 boys. The under-20 boys, we have Elisha Darrell, who will be competing in the high jump, and he is our team captain. We have Jundal Cumberbatch, who will be competing in the 5,000 meters. We have Robert Edwards, who will be competing in the 5,000 meters. And we have Danilo Brangman, who will be competing in the 400 meters. The team officials who will be traveling with us will be Mia Black, who is the team manager. We have Rohan Simons, who is the coach, and Wayne Bean, who is also one of our coaches. You will notice that Brianna Mendez, who has not been mentioned, as she has had to withdraw from the team due to her conflicting university studies. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to seeing Brianna compete, but sometimes schoolwork comes before athletics. The team will be departing Bermuda Wednesday, March 28th, and returning to Bermuda Tuesday, April the 3rd. The games take place in Bahamas from Saturday, March the 31st, to Monday, April the 2nd, with the opening ceremony being held Friday, March the 30th. I will be traveling to Bahamas as well, but in the capacity of the organizational delegate, which I was selected to this role by our National Athletics Region, NACAC. I have recently returned from a trip to Bahamas where I met with the local organizing committee to review their plans, accommodations, meal plans, transportation, etc., confirming that everything will be in order to receive the Carifta teams. I have to say, I believe this is going to be a great event, and I'm really, really looking forward to it, and the athletes should be looking forward to it as well. Just to advise, Bermuda will be submitting our bid to host the 2020 Carifta Games. With the support of government, I feel confident that in 2020, we will have Bermuda bubbling with excitement as we did with Carifta 2012, when we are awarded the 2020 Carifta Games. I am also excited when I look at our young athletes who are coming up, and I have no doubt Bermuda will have a very strong athletics team representing Bermuda in 2020. Some of the athletes who just missed out on this year's standards will get stronger and be ready to showcase their talents right here in Bermuda. The last thing that I want to talk to you about, before we get to any questions regarding the team or Carifta 2020, we would also like to announce an initiative by the BNAA to assist with the cost of sending this team to the Carifta Games, which is called Laps for Health. This event will take place this coming Sunday, March the 18th, from 12 to 6 p.m. at the National Sports Center track. Participants can run or walk a lap at any time with a $2 donation per lap. Get your family or friends to sponsor your laps. Our hope is that we have people of all walks of life filling the track at any time between those hours and walk or run as many laps as they can and assist in sending this team to Bahamas. Not only will they be assisting the team, but also joining in the country's initiative to fight obesity and diabetes. We are partnering with the Ministry of Health, and we will hear from Marie Beach to say a few words regarding this initiative.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Minister of Health, the Honorable Kim Wilson, JPMP, I wish to congratulate all of the athletes who've been chosen to represent Bermuda in this year's Carifta Games. The Laps for Health event was brought to us by the Bermuda National Athletics Association in the person of Mrs. Rayner and Mia Black. And the Department of Health is very excited because this event aligns with what we're trying to do in motivating Bermuda's population to be more physically active, but also to keep the focus on halting the rise of obesity and diabetes. As you may recall, Bermuda has one of the highest rates of diabetes and obesity in the world, and also amputations as a result of diabetes. The Laps for Health aligns with what Department of Health is trying to do. As I said earlier, we also have an interministerial STEPS challenge called the 100 Million STEPS Challenge, where 11 ministries have been paired with middle schools from the government and private sectors. And the employees of each ministry will compete against other ministries. The winning ministry that is paired with that school will have the school receive $5,000. Also, as a part of the Premier Youth Fitness Program, all the students from P5 to Senior 2 received a weekly physical activity logbook, and as a part of the 100 Million Steps Challenge, we encouraged all the students to continue logging their physical activity minutes, and the winning student with the highest, that has the highest number of physical activity minutes will also win a prize. And lastly, the Labs for Health initiative aligns very nicely with the national sports policy, which not only promotes youth sports, but also community health and wellness. So again, thank you, Bermuda National Athletics Association, for partnering with the Ministry of Health, and congratulations to all of the athletes.
Thank you. So the last thing that I want to say, as you see, we have a team of 14 athletes, and as we talked about the Carifta 2020 bid that we have, I just want to show that this will be our logo for Carifta 2020.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber-to-the-home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, Jay, the two captains for the track and field team, none other than Sakari Famous and Elijah Darrell.
That's got to be quite an honor, isn't it?
I would say so. Sakari's got a big future ahead of her, and giving her the responsibility of having others look up to her will indeed will be an honor for her, and something I know she's one of those type of people that can get to others to motivate. And the good thing is her competition is early, so then she gets a chance to then go and encourage her teammates to do better. Now, she's been to 3 Carifta games.
That's where I was about to go with this. Even though she's young,
she's won.
but she's probably the most senior athlete
Yeah.
in the tour.
Well, she'll be the most decorated one on
And
there.
definitely the most decorated.
Yeah, 3 games, 3 medals. That girl's been elusive, but hopefully this time around.
I think the girl's coming there.
Yeah. Well, I know Coach Rohan Simons will be there, so he'll be giving that extra little over the bar.
Yeah.
So we want to wish everyone on the team all the best, and we look forward to your return as successful as you can be in the Carifta game.
I look forward to every meet,
Yes.
every heat, every try.
There you go.
We're going to be glued some way, somehow.
Yeah.
We will be glued.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're going to move from the Carifta track and field team being announced to I got a chance to speak with the national coach of swimming. Their team will be announced very soon. So I had a chance to speak with Ben Smith, the national coach, about the countdown towards the Carifta Swimming Championship. Putting the final touches on the Carifta Swimming Championship teams to be announced sometime next week. But how is the team shaping up, and can we expect some surprises in the team when it's announced?
Well, we have a really strong team. Obviously, building off of what we had last year, this will be the first year that we'll be without Jesse Washington, but we do have some youngsters coming into the program. We will be looking forward to putting those final touches in over the next few weeks. The competition starts the Saturday after Good Friday, so we still have some time to kind of put the last details together and get everybody raring to go to swim fast. Next weekend is our best of best short course championship. So this is the first time that this competition is on the calendar. It kind of rounds out the short course season and gives our guys an opportunity to see how fast they can swim, and then still have a couple weeks to do the final touches before we go to Carifta. So we're really excited about the way that team's coming together.
Now, as a coach, do you often feel pressure to do better than the year before? Because you seem to do well at this particular meet, and you put a lot of pressure on the kids, but do you feel you put pressure on yourself to make sure that they do better than they did the year before?
Well, the pressure for me is always to just try to get the best out of each individual swimmer. A lot of times you'll look at the big results and see people that potentially win medals or break records, but for me, the importance is if you have 20 swimmers that are competing in the competition, were you able to get the best out of each of those swimmers? Sometimes it might be the unsung hero, the person who actually isn't getting those top results, but they're able to get personal bests in multiple events, because history will tell us it's not always the ones who were winning medals when they were really young. It's the ones that come along and continue to strive and work hard and later on end up being the ones that make it to the final podium.
Now, obviously, Maddie was in competition last weekend over in Scotland. The Dailies were back in action in Canada. Looking at their performances, could that be a scary thought? Because records are broken, personal bests, and you have that same thing happening here. But are we in a different phase of swimming now?
Most definitely. So obviously, as we continue to raise the bar of what we're expecting from our athletes, we're lucky enough to have some swimmers right now. I would say a golden crop of swimmers. The dailies, for the first time going into this Carifta, we will have all 3 dailies at the same competition, which is always an exciting feat. Maddie Moore has been kind of rounding into the level that we want to see from her, recovering over her sickness that she had leading into Christmas time. I think it's going to be an exciting time for swimming.
Right, well, good luck, and we look forward to the team when it's announced and bringing back some medals.
No problem. Thank you.
Well, Jay, also on Friday, got an opportunity to speak with the Minister of Sport, Michael Weeks. As we all know, it's been in the news all over the decriminalization of up to 7 grams of marijuana. And obviously there's an issue when people want to or need to compete for Bermuda. And the minister kind of explained that regardless of what the law is, to compete and represent Bermuda, you must toe the line.
Still illegal.
Yeah. Bottom line. Say it again.
Still illegal.
Thank you. Yeah. In social life and in sporting life.
Decriminalization, that is the after effects of it, if you say, when it comes to the court procedures or of that nature. But still illegal.
Thank you.
Still on the ban list.
Yeah.
So, whether what sport you're in, if you still indulge and you're trying to represent the island and you get caught, there's going to be repercussions.
There you go.
If you get caught the second time, there's the next stage of repercussions.
3 strikes, I think.
And I was going to say, you get caught the third time, there's another set of repercussions. And then I think that's going to probably be it.
Yeah.
For your international.
Yeah. So, I mean, the message is as simple as this. If you have any aspirations of going anywhere in the sporting world, you're going to have to make that choice of leaving the drug alone.
And we can all sit around and say why, where, how, when, but this is reality.
Yeah.
We're living in right now, and that's where it is now. Until other things are changed by the law in other countries.
Right. But
for sport, if we're still governed by, until that changes.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to a place, i.e., let's say if there's a meet in California, well, you know, no. No. So I think the good thing is that the people who should be listening, are they listening?
Yeah. Well, that's always a catch-22 because we could talk it. When it comes to this part, most of them turn it on.
Hold on. When I said that, they might hear us, but are they listening?
Nah,
There is a difference.
Oh yes.
That's why I said that.
Well, also, you know, in that same conversation, I got a chance to talk with Ben Smith, who's the Shadow Minister of Sport, and he wants to work on a project with the current minister. So let's get the interview first with Michael Weeks on the topic of marijuana, and then Ben Smith on the topic of working with Michael Weeks as the Shadow Minister of Sport.
Actually, this regulation doesn't give anybody license to smoke. So if you are an athlete and you seek to represent our country, you have to use wisdom You know what I'm saying? We never intended to give people license to smoke, but so it doesn't change a person's responsibility if they want to represent Bermuda.
Ben Smith, on Wednesday in the House of Assembly, you spoke about sports and the support for sports financially. What was your message to the government of the day and to your colleagues as well?
Well, for me, I think that sport needs to become a priority in Bermuda. For a long time, I would say that the country of Bermuda has had aspirations and desire of being at the world level. We always expect our athletes to achieve at the highest level, but the truth is our support has always been at a very low level. So you can't expect gold medal results and then give bargain basement support. And to me, that's been a problem for a really long time, and it needs to be a priority.
How do you recommend working with the government to kind of make some changes?
Well, I am looking forward to meeting with Minister Weeks. After seeing some of the interviews that he's given in the past, I know that he has a lot of the same thoughts as me about what kind of change you can have in society by having a focus on sport. If we give more support to our young people, obviously that's our future. So we need to be not just focused on it from a financial standpoint, but allowing people to understand that it should be a priority. The health and fitness of our society, along with the positive benefits that come from being part of a sports organization, from being part of a team. So sitting down and seeing if we can find some initiatives that allow us to move in that direction as quickly as possible.
Sounds like it's got a plan.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's got a plan. But I want to take it a bit further. And it's just me, you know. We've talked many times off air, off different shows, different platforms, about utilizing our national squads. We talked about that issue just with the fact with marijuana. I don't think we utilize our national squads as the role models as they are in our communities. When you can take our national squads around to the school systems, to the club systems, and when the youngsters get to see the national squads, that's who they're trying to emulate. If you give our youngsters some positive role models who are doing the right things, who are abiding by
the rules and regulations and what we're governed by.
But if they see more of the other, the tendency is going to be what? They're going to move towards the other. So for this to happen, the national squads need to be backed and supported by our government.
Governments, yeah. And I say governments because governments change.
It doesn't matter who.
Yeah, governments change. So no matter who the government is, they have to be backed. They should be backed.
We keep seeing this, Earl, and unfortunately when money gets tight, sports and the arts are the first to get cut. Hands down, sports and the arts. But when you have people involved in sports and art, or in art, the life skill that it teaches youngsters, one of the first things is discipline. You've got to be disciplined to get to that level.
Yeah.
When your friends are going somewhere else, no, I've got to do this. When somebody wants to go, but no, I've got to stay in. I've got to practice on. I've got to practice. So all these things that we're keeping our kids out of the social ills that some fall to the wayside.
I mean, it's the same thing if you look at it. The two sports we just talked about, track and field and swimming. These are youngsters. They're growing up. Friday nights, all their friends are going hang out. They might be going to a house party and all that. But for swimming, these guys got to get up and train at 6 o'clock. For track and field, they're doing a meet the next day. They no, unfortunately, I see you.
I'll give you a story. I'll give you a story, and you I'm pretty sure you heard of it too. PAC, he used to have an infamous trainer
Oh, sure.
named Ellie Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys will know Ellie Wilson. And Ellie used to love when guys would go out
The night before.
the night before.
Sure. And he could tell.
Now, they used to start training, I think, right after cup match.
Mm-hmm.
He used to love it. He used to love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first training session he got with them, he would turn their stomachs.
Mm-hmm.
And then laugh at you.
Yeah. If you want to be successful, you got to come back tomorrow.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
This is what it takes. And I'm not saying that's just because it's Bermuda. This is what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at some of the documentaries on the Messi, the Messi documentary, the Ronaldo.
The best one that of late was the boat one. And he didn't have much,
No.
He used whatever was at the facility.
And he would tell you,
Yeah.
he didn't like to train.
Yeah, I hated it. Hated it. But to be the best and stay on top, oh, you got to work extra harder. It's hard getting there. It's harder
He tell you,
staying
that's
there.
one of the main reasons for him even retiring.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't like to train.
Yeah.
But you gotta have some type of consistency. So in saying that, I think we've always dropped the ball. I've talked about it before with our national cricket squad. When they came back from the World Cup, we dropped the ball there. When we have our successful football team, especially with the girls football team, I think we dropped the ball with them coming back. With our Crifter swimmers, I think we dropped the ball with them a few times. The Red Bull sailing team, I think we dropped the ball with them. We can keep going on and on. We've had some local role models for our youngsters, and I think we need to support them a little bit more. So that's just my take.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
No, well, everybody's got an opinion, and I think you have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to roll right into Lucky J's time of the program.
That was good this week.
And, well, yeah, we
Okay.
had the same picks.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. We lost heavily in one area, picked up, well, yeah. Well, we're going to start off with the Premier Division, and of course on Saturday, Jay, if somebody told you that the Devonshire Cougars were playing Somerset Trojans, and they said the score ended up 6-3, would you have ever believed Somerset would have won?
No.
Because we both picked Devonshire Cougars.
Easy. It was a no-brainer too.
Well,
I didn't even talk much about the setup.
That's right. But I watched that match in its entirety only because both teams fielded youngsters. And when I say youngsters, Devonshire Cougars had the average age on the field, even with Mark Steed and Moses, would have been 18. And three of the back four were probably just 16.
Well, Earl, I sort of told you this was going to happen.
Well, Devonshire Cougars' hand been forced. They have so many injuries.
Well, but still,
Yeah.
we talked about this. I won't say it's a dilemma.
What are you playing for? Where you settled in?
Right.
Yeah.
And also for coaches, let me also see where.
I start thinking the next season.
Right.
Yeah.
And also to award the guys who have been in PDL and who's coming up.
Yep.
Because that is to get their first game. And we saw that even when we came up.
Oh, yeah.
We will see some of the late additions during the season. Guys who were on back then, it was third division.
Yes. But if you've been loyal and you deserve
Was
a
sit on the
chance,
bench late in the season.
you get a little show. Hey. Yeah. But I was encouraged by both teams. Somerset ran ahead 2-0. Cougars pulled a goal back just before halftime. 5 minutes into the second half, they missed a penalty. But 2 minutes later, a mistake by the young goalkeeper, 2-2, and then Alan Douglas scored, made it 3-2. 15 minutes to go, but they had so many stoppages in between. Somerset tied it up in the 75th minute, but then the referee indicated as we got closer to the regulation time, 10 minutes of extra time. That's how much time was wasted and held up. You had Devonshire Cougars goalkeeper going down with cramp. You had a few injuries that delayed the game. So it just took. But from the stroke of 90 minutes to the end of the game, Somerset scored 3 times.
That hurt. Because there's one time you say, man, we worked ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
We worked ourselves out of it. But it bodes well for Somerset. Because they've done this on the road.
Yeah. That's a huge win.
With a young squad. And to see the young Rattery Smith.
Yes.
But the young.
Yes.
And it's.
Of late, he's been poaching girls.
And I was going to say that. He's
Little tiny thing, too,
a little knock of them in. I wonder where he got this size. No, I know where he got this size from. But no, it's. I talked about in the last show. Certain clubs have these academies that they just keep producing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, but these are the times you get to see somebody. We saw that with Robin Hood a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that youngster in a minute when we talk about the Robin Hood game because they're probably trying to save him for.
Oh no, they weren't saving him. Well, they were saving him. They were saving him because
exactly.
weren't enough oxygen around Bernard Park.
Yeah. But
sometimes in certain games, if you're starting, the pace is a bit too fast. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Then, obviously, we both got that one wrong.
Yeah, we got that dead wrong.
Yeah. Then we moved to Lords and St. David's, the Boulevard Blazers and PHC. 4-0 halftime.
And I stated that it would probably be 4-0. Remember I told you last week? Yeah, man. Last week it was 4-0.
Yeah.
4-0.
And all I'm in the first half, I'm pretty sure people were saying, we can get double digits today. Yeah. But as we all know, there's some pride. There's some pride with Boulevard. So, if we're going to lose, we're not going to lose, as bad as people might think. So, so we both got that right. Then came the game at Bernard Park, North Village Rams and Robin Hood. Robin Hood knowing they have to keep winning. In order to have a chance of winning the league, they have to keep winning and hope somebody else.
Yeah, PAC has to.
I think they're going to have to lose twice. Yeah, because the goal difference is so far.
Twice.
They're going to have to lose twice. So if PHC win the next game, the league's done. Yeah. And we were talking about the youngster. Started the game. That pace was so fast. And it just looked too fast for him. He got a shot off early, but then there was some hard tackles, and he just couldn't get himself into it. And I think his coach, seeing what's going on, decided to take him off. Because you want the youngster to do well, but there are times you're going to have to slowly inject him into certain games, and that pace that North Villages play with Robin Hood playing the same pace, it could be a bit too fast.
The unfortunate part, and I'm just going to talk about it because we've talked about this with these two teams. Well, now with Village with all the injuries, the lack of bench players they have. And I say that because if I just go back to the game before that, we talked about PAC, they're averaging 5 to 6 guys on the bench. And if you look at every team sheet, it's 3 to 4 guys unused subs. After I made 3 subs. It's and then you've got Robin Hood, which John Barry Newsom, Timmy Figueredo, and who else forgot to keep us company?
Don't sit too close. Got a card on you.
I gotta balance this one out. But that's and then with Village with Taryn Free and Go.
Vicky Keep.
Backstop.
Hey.
Blocker.
I'm just gonna tell you.
It ran that bad.
Lejean Simmons hit this thing, and I'm pretty sure if Taj was in goal, he'd have said, "Yeah, I get that." But to be honest, in all fairness, Taryn was doing well and did well well. I don't think he'd have done anything different on the first goal, which was a breakaway, and he was advancing and it was scored. The rocket. But he did make quite a few saves. I think it was Antoine Russell hit a shot. No, it was Lejean, just on the edge of the box, and he done the smart thing. You know how some goalkeepers look to palmed the ball away and all that. All he done was dove to his right and blocked it.
Yeah.
Let the defenders clear the ball. Because the way the play was, the defenders, Dijon was in front of the defenders. So when he shot, the ball went across the defenders. He blocked it, so he knew that it had to be a defender to clear it. So, you know, he was doing the smart things as
Simple
a goalkeeper.
things.
Yeah.
Simple things.
And not trying to be a goalkeeper, but more of a stopper.
Yeah.
Which
and what we call that, make yourself big.
oh yeah.
Make
Oh yeah.
yourself big.
Yeah. So in the end, he would, although he lost 3-0, he would leave that with a better impression of when you turn around to the goalkeeper and you say, how come you done? No, I understand why you do
All right,
that.
Terry, next week.
Yeah.
Oh?
Coming late, coach.
Oh.
Yeah. Then one we both got wrong down in Garrison.
Dead wrong, too.
Crossroads, who were boasting we're the only undefeated team in the second half of the season. 2 rounds ago, and what they took 2 against PHC or 3? 2-0. 2-0 against PHC. So I conceded 5 goals in 180 minutes and scored once. Sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut.
To the end.
Yeah.
To the end.
Yeah.
Because every team goes through a blip.
Yeah.
You saw PSC go through a blip.
That's right.
Turn
That's
of
right.
the year.
Yep.
Turn of the year. They were undefeated
That's right. In all competitions.
in all competitions.
Yeah.
And right after the cup, they go, what, 2 in a row? 3 in a row?
Yeah.
I think 2 in a row and a draw or something like that. So, but Flanagan's, I mean, just literally, as you would say, hanging on.
Hang on in there, the orange
I
and white.
mean, statistically,
Mathematically, they're still got a shot, but realistically,
yeah.
Yeah,
So we can't say definitively that you're going
right. You have to wait till the next round.
yet.
But then it could be very interesting if Flanagan's wins, Somerset loses. Yeah.
Well, the good thing, and probably worked against them this time was Somerset coming their way.
Yeah. Had the result with Somerset and Cougars going the other way and Flanagan's were able to win,
Woo!
it would have heated things right up.
Yeah, but
So I tell you, those guys from Somerset got a lot of pride as well. So then, final game.
Now, I was shocked.
Then you heard
Social Club leading Dandy Town
3-0.
3-0.
Why would you be shocked? So most girls that scored. Let's put it like this.
You just said it.
How many games can you add up?
You just said it. You just said it.
Hey, when you lead 1-0, 2-0, and 3-0, okay, guys, we're going off the field. Let the BFA take the 3 points away from us, but today we won.
But when I heard the final score, what happened?
A tale of 2 halves.
But to concede 7
They said they'd be lucky if it was just 7.
after leading 3-0? Hey.
But before we get off of this game, I do want to say to Sumjay, Clay, and Ian Cook, get well soon, guys.
Yes.
Speedy recoveries.
Yes.
Hopefully the damage is not too bad on anyone's part, and we look forward to seeing you back on the field very, very soon.
Unfortunately, we have there's some stoppages with the injuries, and once again, like I said, we hope that everybody,
thank God it was daylight saving time.
and that everybody gets, the help they need and recover as soon as possible.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you'll get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Well, we'll move to the first division. No surprise, BAA playing St. David's. Surprise was the score.
I was to say that.
Yeah. That was the
Stayed pretty close.
yeah. But St. Davis didn't score at all.
Well, still.
They got one, but yeah.
Don't tell little people there. Just saying.
So we got that right. Then Southampton Rangers and St. George's. You see what I put?
Yeah, but
I was wondering if you would notice it.
that's not the score.
It was 3-0.
Yeah, but that's not the way you
Not
got
the
it.
way I done it.
Yeah, you're trying to play.
Sure.
Well, we know. I told him. Actually, no, but
I went with Rangers.
Yeah.
I tell you.
So, Casey, your boy say he ain't coming east no time soon.
Hey.
Because he came in with this side before winter. He didn't want to fall too far behind, and he would have fell behind if he went with his heart.
No, I tell you, everything is straight.
Rangers, Rangers
They need to be in.
need to win.
They have to win. They can not afford to drop one point
What I tell you is going to happen is coming down
to the final two.
for the final game.
Yeah.
Final
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Final game, because I tell you, their game will be, I believe, it's with BA.
Their final game. Yes. Yeah.
It's going to go down.
But they can't underestimate their opponents the game before that.
Nope.
So it'll be interesting, and we'll get to those games when they resume as well. But it's a few weeks before that. Paget done enough to beat Devonshire Colts. Now I gotta say, Jay, I went to the game and I knew what was going to happen. I knew
you
what
took
was.
the brunt, buddy. You went to face the music.
Oh sure, buddy. Chatter behind me, boy, was a ripping. But I just smiled at it and I told one guy, I said, the funny thing is, you guys are more concerned about me and what I've said than your team struggling to put 4 passes together right now. Because although they were dealing with Devonshire Colts, there were times that they were well out of sync.
Oh, you want to be too critical.
Oh no.
We can see that in every game.
No, but what I was trying to do was take the heat off of me.
Yeah, you're trying to deflect it, but
Yeah.
That could be any team.
But you know what?
Game.
You know what? Paget played.
Paget Magic.
Well, if you want to call it, Magic. They played showing that they want to make sure that they secure 3 points. There were some inter things going on in the middle of the park at times where you could tell because Dion's just come back in the team. There were some passes that didn't go right away, but once they found that rhythm, there was no way that Devonshire Colts going to be able to match that. Yeah, guys running off the ball. I'm going to say this, that one of the players that is so instrumental in what they've been able to do this year is Travis Wilkinson.
Yeah.
He without a doubt has had the ability to slow the game down, speed it up right from the middle of the park. He's not afraid to go into tackles. And we always talk about Dion, we could talk about Taj, we could talk about so many other guys. But it's the small things that people do that kind of make that team tick, and Travis is a big part of that. Jason, another shout out. I think that makes 12 for him.
Well, let's go back to Travis, and kudos to Dion, and I say this in this aspect. When I talk about Dion, a lot of times in the small ball cricket, especially if it's batting or even just the captaincy, one of the things I've always given kudos for is controlling the tempo. That's exactly what we're talking about. When I know that, my strikers are going on a couple of long runs, I need to give them a break.
Right.
Don't make sense trying to push another one down the channel.
Then I'm lost.
Because I'm lost. Let me hold them up.
Yeah.
Let me hold this up a bit. Let me knock it around in midfield a bit because I need them to catch their breath. Or let me switch over and go to the other side. Things like that go unnoticed.
Yeah.
To the average person.
To the average person, yes. Yeah. The times that I've seen Paget play this season, Travis has stood out in that regard.
You've got to know who's your fresh horse. Or, who's hey, just give me a couple of minutes. Just give me a couple of minutes. You know that, Earl, with strikers, because there's always a burst.
Right.
Always a burst. Always a burst. lot of times, especially if there's breast and the ball just seems to go out of your grasp and
Right,
go outside.
right.
Those are the ones that hurt.
Yeah.
But people like Travis, and anytime you have somebody in the middle of the park who knows that, because somebody else would just say, you know what, I'm still going. Coaches tell me play it here, play it here, play it here. Yeah, but you gotta.
Yeah,
manage.
there were times where guys would say, "Go forward," and and exactly what you're saying. Diaz just come off a long run. The other person's just come off a long run. Turn around, keep possession, play it out wide to the fullback, go and get it.
Yeah.
Give those guys a chance to recover.
Yeah.
Play to the feet. You know that type of stuff. And he understands the game that much.
Well, he's also a veteran. He's been around too.
Oh yeah.
Travis is not young.
Well, no, he's not.
He's not.
No, he's not. We both got that one right. Then Wellington Oval. We both got this one right too. Hamilton Parish.
Shockingly, well, we got it right.
Well,
But I say shockingly because we picked it shockingly.
yes.
There's Island Rangers coming in victors over Hamilton Parish, but
Deuce in a row.
yeah,
2 in a row.
in a row.
Yeah.
Still really are.
Well, but you know what? This for Island Rangers will only serve them well for next season.
Well, okay. And I say that. Why? Because once again, what's the pool?
Dockyard.
And who's going training Dockyard?
The Dockyard guys. But you know, but and I say that because I'm always wanting to say this.
You're not picking up any new.
No, but what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying it bodes well for them for next season, I always say this. You probably get tired of hearing me say this. Confidence. Winning
Of course.
for them. If they look at their season and say, you know what?
Right.
We won 3 of our last 5 games.
You know how far confidence gets you?
Another.
To the next whistle.
Well, yeah, but at least over
Until the next
but at
whistle.
least over the summer break.
It will keep them to this. Keep them to
Yeah,
the next.
yeah,
Keep them to the next.
yeah.
whistle. The only thing, and I say this here because man, we talk about Dockyard. The only gonna be guys who are probably disenfranchised from the Somerset Trojans team or the Somerset Eagles,
Right.
and they will bounce around. They've done that for years. And we see the same thing's gonna happen down St. George's and St. Davis. We know what's gonna happen.
Right.
It's almost a given what's gonna happen. So anytime they did get, like I said, a couple of really, really good players, they might, because as we can see, in first division, if you got about three pretty decent players, you can be very competitive.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Especially if one of them's a goalkeeper and one's a goal scorer.
That's what I was gonna say. In the first division, all you need is a good goalkeeper and somebody that's gonna put the ball away. Once you got those two, and they'll click in every game. They play every game. You'll be a threat.
And I used to look at Search Club last year. Clay Darrell putting the ball away.
Yeah.
Defense was okay, wasn't? But it was okay. Yeah, somebody putting the ball away.
Crossroads won the league. They had 3 guys scoring in rotation, and they had a steady quality goalkeeper.
Now, Premier?
You need 5, 6, 7 guys.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And guess what? If you have anything less, whoever those people are, they have to be on each and every game.
Yeah, your system has to be, everybody's got to be on, it's got to be more of a system.
Now, we can revert back to when Flanagan's first came up and Caston was there. Everybody else was a role player.
Yeah.
Literally a role, and they played their role, and they were successful by staying.
But it was more of the system.
Right.
More of the system.
Guys stuck to that plan. Okay, Caston, you're going to be the roomer, do whatever you want. Everybody else, plug away.
Yeah, we're not too fast.
Yeah.
Skill, it's not really our forte.
We're not pushing up to the halfway line because we can't catch these guys. So you know what? We're gonna play smart, and that's what they done. You know. But the unfortunate thing for them, they've aged
Yeah.
because you haven't seen an influx of players. So that team has been the consistent team over the last 5 years that they've been promoted, and now you're walking wounded.
But we'll see what happens with it because who knows, they might pull some guys out of the Corona League.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then the final,
Sorry, because we don't want to say poach.
there's gonna be some
Scout.
poaching. Entice. But the final game of the week,
This was a shock.
yeah.
We got this wrong.
Well, we would have, because Eagles would have set themselves up to go Devonshire Rack. Then the extra 40-minute drive, 20-minute, 30-minute drive to Garrison.
Garrison, yeah.
Ended 1-1. So we ended up with 7 right, 3
You're
wrong.
wrong, yeah.
I'm getting against you in one of those 2 games next.
You have to.
Yeah. I'm either gonna lose by 4 or win by 1.
You're going to have to, buddy.
You're picking first the next round, see?
I've been picking first all this time.
No, you haven't, but take turns. We take turns.
Go to the tape.
Let's go to the
Go
videotape.
to the tape.
Yeah.
Copy me all the time.
What? How could I copy you from behind you?
That's the point. You can't. That's why you ain't catching me. You keep copying me.
Oh, that's what it is. Well, Jay, we're gonna finish on football with tonight's FA Cup semifinals. There was a lot of talk when the initial draw was made that it was a bit unfair for first division team because they won't get it past because you had the premier teams involved. And guess what? There will be a first division team in the FA Challenge Cup final.
Now, this is where we look at the 4 teams. PAC, Paget, Southampton Rangers, Robin Hood. How much were taken out of the players on the weekend who's to turn around and play tonight in
Mucky conditions.
mucky conditions?
Yeah.
Because with the saturated rain we got on Monday, all day Monday.
Yeah.
right?
That's a lot of rain. The field might have been dry. It could have been dry on Sunday, but I would say afternoon on yesterday, you just can't keep. And there is some talk that the match may be postponed because of field conditions to allow it to dry out a little more. And if that's the case, the matches will be played tomorrow night at the same venue.
And you're talking about a double header.
A double header, yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, and I could possibly even be seeing the second game be.
The second game, heavy legs on a already turned up pitch. Boy, that could play havoc.
Yeah.
Havoc.
And I hate to say this, Robin Hood, I'm always gonna feel for you because once again, the lack of depth you have.
Yeah.
That's it's gonna really be a disadvantage for Robin Hood.
Morty, it will just give him inspiration.
No, but
I think you're 100% correct.
you know, I'm just saying they ain't got no players on the bench besides Jordan Barry Newsom. He's not going to play on that team. Team is not going to go slide in the mud.
Hey, well, Dale Eve's still on the island.
Good.
Yeah. But you know what?
Might need Dale E to play.
Here lies this. The FA Cup final is a matter of 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Do I sacrifice my body in a semi-final to then recover in enough time to play the final? However, I'm still in the shot of the league.
And that's where it's even tricky for PAC. How far are they looking ahead?
Yeah.
Because if they're looking past tonight,
It could all come crumbling down.
now this could be a historic season for them if they stay focused. If not, it could be also historic, but in
Not a good way.
not in a good way because
They have 3 trophies in the trophy cabinet already, but if they somehow get knocked out of the FA Cup in the semi-final and don't win the league, they would consider it a bad season.
of course,
Yeah, for the runs that they've been on.
the runs that they've been on, it should be a clean sweep. It should be a clean sweep.
Yeah.
But and I don't want to. We'll talk about more about that and where it stands in historic terms
Right.
of everything, probably the future shows. But First things first. They have to
So
do
who you
business.
taking tonight?
Come on now.
I'm talking about the first kid.
First.
I know you're getting the second game. Will it be the Rangers
That's hard for me.
or the Magic? You know what? I'll leave it to the end of the show and I'll ask you that question one more time.
You may have heard Digicel is bringing the only true fiber to the home network to Bermuda. But what does that mean? Fiber to the home is the fastest and most reliable way to access the internet. And with Digicel's fiber internet, the fiber goes all the way into your house. It doesn't just stop at the street. That means you get consistently fast speeds you can rely on. Think of it as a brand new internet highway that goes all the way into your home or office, and you can be one of the first to enjoy it. Visit digicelbermuda.com/fiber to register your interest in Bermuda's only true fiber to the home network.
Actually, Donnie Simmons began umpiring in the Pan American hockey qualifiers over in Argentina yesterday. Got a chance to speak with Donnie before he left. Huge honor to do a World Cup or Olympic qualifier tournament. Let's get the interview with Donnie Simmons. Donnie Simmons, you're off to Mexico to officiate in the Pan American youth qualifiers. Obviously, getting back into it, it's got to be exciting times for you.
Yes, definitely most exciting. I did take a year off just to get some personal things in order. However, I'm back on the trail and I'm obviously heading down to Mexico, like you said, and it's very exciting to be a part of the Youth Olympics and qualifiers.
Now, what are some of the challenging things? Because obviously there's Paraguay, there's Brazil, there's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries involved. Do you find that challenging in communicating with the players as a neutral umpire?
Well, luckily I did some Spanish in school, so I obviously know enough to get by and obviously learned the Spanish that I required to communicate with the players. So I'm obviously very versed with the Spanish communication, so that's relatively easily.
Although it's a junior tournament, these guys play high-level hockey. The pace is a lot quicker. Do you find that a little more challenging here, over there than here, because of the pace of the switching directions as quickly as it does?
Believe it or not, actually with the pace that you find out there is that those players tend to make mistakes only when under pressure. So it's relatively easy to anticipate what may happen because you can expect the good players to do the easy things and move on very swiftly. So it actually tends to be easier to umpire a game where people know what they're doing versus here where it's a little bit more I'm learning, so it's a little more tackle, and it's so from that aspect it tends to be easier to umpire.
Now, as you said, you've been around doing international games for about 7 years. Where are some of the places that the international scene has taken you?
China, obviously, Jamaica, Trinidad, Canada, Brazil, the U.S., of course, Puerto Rico, Mexico, obviously. Actually, my third time going to Mexico. And I'm hoping to head to Argentina.
What would you say has been your most memorable moments out of all this international competition that you've been officiating in?
To be rewarded the semi-finals in the Youth Olympics when I traveled there in 2014. It's a world stage event. It's the stage where the players decide who goes into the final. So it's one of the most exciting games of the tournament. So I think that was the most exciting game I've ever umpired and was rewarded with and was grateful to my umpires managers.
Now, when you go to these tournaments, they have an overall manager that officiates over the umpires and gives you direction on what you need to do in order to. What's some of the things you've been told that you've used to help you thus far?
The main one was to communicate to the players more, to get my point across verbally versus having to go to a disciplinary issue. So that has help my game in the most, I think. Yeah.
Well, good luck, and we'll keep a track on you, see how you're making out.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool. So you thought I was letting you off the hook?
Oh, no.
Now, give me the answer. Who you for? Magic and zebras.
Magic and zebras.
Well, good luck.
Not a problem.
All right. Huh?
You gonna rub with the Rangers?
No.
I thought
No.
yeah. You gonna see him?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just I'm gonna ride the Magic. I'm gonna ride the Magic. I mean, I think we just talked about PAC not looking too far ahead because Paget hasn't, even though they're in arm's length of the title, but if they don't play each minute, they could come out with nothing.
But you know what's funny, Jay? You know what's on the line for Southampton? They are the only undefeated team.
It's still
That's
undefeated.
right. That's right.
And guess what?
If they win, the talk gets
Put it this way,
louder.
it can't be no draw
No, it has to be a winner.
because we'll go to what, penalties? Yeah, we'll go to penalties.
So, hey.
And personally, I could probably see this game going to extra time.
Yeah.
And maybe even penalties.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, that's where my bet will go on Jason.
Well, Sean had that
He did.
in New Year's Day.
He did.
You know, hey, anything's
He
possible.
did. But Jason is
Yeah. Well,
And, did Jason play that game?
New Year's Day, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, just but like I said, that. Then again, Sean.
Hey, never underestimate a sleeping giant. Joe Moss can have those guys worked up and ready to go.
The Rangers boys might have me when they go back to the club, man.
Yeah. Well, good luck. We'll bring it all to you on Islandstats tomorrow morning, and then, tonight actually, and we'll talk about the finalists on Thursday's show of the Digicel Sports Show. Well, folks, is that it?
No.
That's why I made it. Then you always got something.
Now, we've been talking about Jair Mitchell the last couple of weeks. But did we have some other riders?
Yeah, we had Kajan Simons and Aaron Kennedy compete.
Where to?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, done well.
It done well. Turn up the dirt.
Sure. But as if we go back to another sport, but as Jacques said, there's a lot of talent on this island. But we have to be prepared to nurture it, show them the way, hone in the craft, and allow them to be free to do what they want. But you have to teach them the right way first.
Hold on. And it's so crazy because the legend that you interviewed last week.
Yeah, Gerard Houllier.
Pretty much what I said.
The same thing.
Patience. And development.
Yeah. In Bermuda, everybody wants instant results. Nah. That 20 years we was beating up someone, said they were being patient. And now we're working towards that there, but it won't be no 20 years. Folks, from the Digicel Sports Show, have a wonderful night.